As I began learning more and more, I ended up, trying some experiments, if you will. I title this one is a validation out-of-body experience, which happened to me in 1999. And the thing is that I was in Ecuador, and my mother, who was feeling a little ill, was on the other side of the room. I decided that, you know what, I'm going to meditate, and I'm going to have an out-of-body experience. So sure enough, I meditated, and I felt the vibrations and the usual routine, if you will. And then I commanded myself, my soul, quote unquote, to leave my body. My soul went over to my mom. I go over to her room to console her because she was feeling ill. I wanted to give her energy. My hand, my astral hand, if you will, just touches her on the cheek to console her. I didn't mean anything bad by it. I was just, like I said, I was learning how to do this. Now I was able to, and I wanted to have a validation out-of-body experience. So yeah, Ma, sorry for scaring you. So the thing is that I went like this to caress her cheek. I see my mother jump, and as I see her jump, I snap back to my physical body, and I jumped right out of the bed, and I'm like, whoa. I'm looking around, and the thing is that I got up, and this experience kind of drained me. I went to the fridge to grab a bottle of water, and then I see my mother coming out of the room, running out of the room. She was looking around like she was afraid. I go, what's wrong? And she's like, I could have sworn that I just felt you touch me on the cheek. And I was like, oh my goodness. Wow. I didn't say anything to my mother. I told her the next day, actually, of what I was able to do. That I'm able to control the out-of-body experiences. She was like, don't you ever do that again to me. You're going to give me a heart attack. I was trying to console her because she was sick, pass some energy, like healing light, if you will, because I started reading up on spiritual healing and all. So that was a validation out-of-body experience that my mother ended up feeling my presence. And the thing is that at the time, my mother was, she was with her boyfriend, and he was aware, or he wanted to learn how to do this. So he was asking me, my mother told him, and he was asking me, how do you do that? Can you show me? Can you teach me? And my mother's like, no, don't show him. So I was like, wow, a lot of people want to know how to learn how to do this. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I found my calling. The second validation out-of-body experience was when my father was visiting at our apartment, and he was sleeping in the living room. The thing is that I decided to meditate. I said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna try an out-of-body experiment, if you will. So the thing is that I meditated for a good 15-20 minutes. I had the usual routine, I guess, if you will, the vibrations, and then seeing the white light, and then the sound throughout the ears, like right here, and then I felt myself whisk away from my body. I decided that I wanted to give some healing light to my father. From my astral hands, or my soul hands, I decided to send white light towards my father, for healing purposes. I could see the white light coming out of my astral hands, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. And the thing is that I could see my father starting to get agitated. He's kind of moving around, like, and it startled me because I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm doing harm to him, which the intent was not to do harm to him. It was to send him, positive light, positive energy, healing energy. This startled me, so I ended up snapping back to my body, and I was like, oh, I jumped out of my bed, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, whoa. I go, this this is an amazing technique. There's more to this physical body, or this physical world than we realize. There's more than meets the eye, and that's the interesting part. The next day, my father wakes up and he comes over to me and he asks me, he goes, Juanito, were you standing above me, or were you standing over me in the middle of the night? And I go, why? And he goes, because I could have sworn that I saw you put your hands on my chest like this. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I was just like, what? And I go, what did you say? And he goes, yeah. He goes, it felt like you were pressing against my chest. I had to explain to my father at my out-of-body experience. It was an out-of-body experience experiment to give him energy, healing energy. I think I kind of weirded my father out on that one. He was kind of trippy on that. He was just like, because the thing is that a lot of people, like I said, a lot of individuals, they are afraid of the unknown. Some people they embrace this, but there's a lot of individuals that they don't want to hear anything that has to do with that, because just, it scares them, it trips them out. But like I said, this is a spiritual journey that I'm on. It's a fun ride, I guess you can say. Those are some of the experiences, my out-of-body experiences that I've had. It's an amazing feeling. So if you guys get a chance to have an out-of-body experience, don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. It's not negative. It's positive. We are all beings of light, if you will, in a physical body.